Okay, здравствуйте, товарищи, and welcome to the first edition of Stalin Starcraft 2 Battle Report as the game has officially come out. So this is officially the real game, the real deal, and all that good stuff. So this is a new map that is in the game. It wasn't in the beta. It's called The Frontier, I believe. And on my team, I will be commanding the Purple Zerg, as well as Car Jr., who you may have saw in the last match that I did. He will be commanding the Orange Terran, and at the top is Draws, who will be commanding the Yellow Protoss. And these two guys are actually YouTube fans who've added me up through whatever means, through Battle.net, and we'll talk about that later. But so these two guys are fans of the channel. They watch the channel and everything, and both of them wanted to play with me, so we set up a couple 3 versus 3 matches, and this one I think was the best one, so I decided to show it to you guys. And on the other side, we'll be facing Scorp as the Teal Protoss, Aaron as the Red Terran, and Myson as the Blue Zerg. So we got combined races, all 3 races on each side, which I think is pretty cool. So combined arms. And before we really get into the match and everything, just want to say, if you want to add me up, I'll leave. I believe, I'm not exactly sure the system that they use now. I think it's an email and a number or something like that. Anyway, I'll double check before I post the video and leave the information, and all you guys are more than welcome to add me up, and depending on whether or not I'm busy, we can play a couple games. No, I'm not willing to play all the time. Sometimes I'll be playing campaign or recording or something, but if I am and you ask me, you're all more than welcome to play. Also, if you happen to add me on Facebook, I added all my Facebook friends who happen to own the game to Battle.net, so if you add me on there, you've already probably received a friend request from me. So let's look at the map a little bit. As you can see, it's on top of some kind of plateau here, and each player is situated on a little sort of risen platform with 2 entrances, one here, the other one here. One's smaller than the other one. This one's much bigger than the one over here. And then right across from me is another player who has a similar setup. And then another player who's a little bit more isolated atop this platform. And of course, it's mirrored on both sides. And each player has a natural expansion right outside their base. And in the center here, there's some Zelnaga watchtowers to keep watch over the field. And then dotting the map, there's some more expansions. There's one on the island over here. There's some high yield resources right here, and so on and so forth. So it's a little bit more separated than some other maps. Some other 3 maps have all players really like bunched together right beside one another. This one's a little bit more. You guys are a little bit more separate, meaning it's harder to work as a team, I suppose. But then again, it's a little less necessary, but teamwork is always a good thing. So as you can see, I've already teched to lair. I'm going roaches this time. Haven't been using roaches a little often. Usually go zerglings, but I was tired of being my zerglings being owned by zealots. So I decided that I would switch to roaches for a couple matches and see how I could use them as a early tier unit instead of zerglings, and they actually worked out really well, and you'll see why as the match progresses. You can see on my other team, Car Jr.'s already got a nice force of Marauders and Marines patrolling his base, all those little expansions blocked off, and Draws has a couple zealots on the field, as opposed to our opponents, who seem to be really favoring a macro build. And for those of you who might not know, I use some of these crazy StarCraft terms every so often. A macro build means you're strongly favoring your economy over your military. So it means you'll probably have lots of resources and lots of bases early on in order to build a big military and simply outproduce your units. So you can definitely tell that teal is doing something like that, and as well as red. And then my other Zerg opponent is he's going Hydralisks, and I actually really hate. I switched from Terran used to be my favorite race to play as. Now it's the Zerg, and I really hate facing other Zerg players for some reason. I can't stand it. So I'm the first to attack. I've got a large force of roaches out here ready to do some damage and see what's up. And I end up deciding to attack teal first. So here they come. Looks like I got that's 12 roaches here. And they're gonna march right on in. He's gonna try and put down a photon cannon. I'm gonna see a zealot, and he's gonna go down pretty quickly. And he's got a force of stalkers coming out, and we meet in the field of battle. And then I decide that I'm gonna bury my roaches. They have burrow, but they don't have movement, and so I pop him back up, and then cut off his forces and divide them and tear them to shreds. And I found that burrowing is really a fantastic tactic to use, especially with roaches, because one, roaches regenerate faster when they're burrowed. Their health regenerates faster when they're burrowed. Oh, using it again. And also, it really messes with your opponents. And then you can see I'm using a little bit of micromanagement to take down my enemy's forces. Yeah, surrounded, but we're going to move back and turn and face and fire, and then take out our enemy's forces. And then I completely, with this force of roaches, I end up completely decimating both red and teal's forces, and capitalizing on this fact, Draws takes a large force of zealots and supported by some of Carr Jr.'s Hellions, and drives them right into the middle of red's base and starts attacking. I've got my roaches continually harassing him, as well as taking on any opponents of his. Sorry, any forces of his, and I'm gonna take down this this nexus. But with red forces destroyed in that attack against me, his base is an easy target, and my allies quickly make short work of what's left of him.